Hello, I'm Joe Kelly, life coach here at Pathfinder Life Coaching. Welcome to the Emotional Regulation course. In this course, you'll learn many things about emotions and how to regulate them. This course will take you about a half hour to complete, give or take a few minutes. I have recorded this recording as part of the course and we'll go through the course slides with you. And then later on, you will have the link where you can go through the course slides as slow as you want to go. I've also sent you a PDF of this course so you can print it out and use some of the slides as worksheets if you want to. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started with the course. Okay, so once again, welcome to the Emotional Regulation Workshop. The key components that we're going to talk about in this emotional regulation workshop is awareness, knowing your own psychological and emotional state, understanding some of the causes and triggers of emotions, accepting your emotions, and having some strategies to regulate your emotions. Here are four real common emotions: anger, fear, sadness, and disappointment. And the feelings that you have associated with them typically. I want to say right now, and there's a question on the next page, are there bad emotions? There are no bad emotions. It's how you handle your emotions. And emotions are very natural. It's natural to be angry if somebody does something that hurts your feelings or hurts you personally. It's very natural to feel angry, and it's okay. What becomes not okay is how you express that anger in an unhealthy or a violent way. So we need to learn to express our feelings appropriately and share them with others. In anger, you'll feel hostility, want to blame people, you'll feel resentment, you might become sweaty and clammy, you might have like a flash face, a trembling in your hands. There's lots of different symptoms. Everybody is a little bit different with anger. I encourage you, do you know these symptoms in you? I would encourage you to the next time you get angry, the next time you have different emotions, recognize the signs, the physical signs of what your body's doing so that you can deal with those. With anger, you want to focus on sharp, deep breaths, and we're going to go over breathing later and being aware of your body language and how you're communicating that to others. Excuse me. With fear, you'll have feelings of distress, nervousness, and thinking the worst in things. Again, you'll have clammy hands, maybe shallow breathing, maybe your heart rate's increased. Deep breathing is a good way to control your fear. And again, we're going to go over that. Your body posture also, don't be slumped over and worried. Be uptight and straight. Anchor yourself to a happier time. A lot of times when I have fear, I'll put my hand in my pocket and grab a hold of my keys. It's really a dumb thing, but I'll be thinking I can get out of this or this is going to end. I'm going to be able to drive my car somewhere. This is just going to end. So that's just one little thought that I do, one little trick. Sadness, feelings of sorrow and intense emotional pain. That's going to happen when something bad happens. Thinking the worst and having difficulty concentrating. Usually you'll have hunched shoulders, pouting, your body might shake, you might cross your arms, um, upset stomach, feelings of doom. The best way to work on sadness is to accept it, sit with it. We'll talk about sitting with your emotions, but sharing it with others, letting others know you're sad. Don't be faking it. A lot of times people say, "How are you today?" And you go, "Great," and inside you're dying. Um, you may not want to share your side with every person that you come along the way and be an Eeyore, but with significant others and people who are close to you, you should share that you're sad and why. And then there's disappointment, feelings of sadness, regret, frustration, anxiety, being let down or betrayed. Might have a slower heart rate. Your upset stomach can have butterflies flying in your stomach. Um, Things like that. Again, this is the time that you need to share how you feel with another person, especially the person that may have disappointed you. And there are ways to do that. I haven't covered them in this course, but assertive behavior is a good way to start. You can look that up on Google. If you want further information about assertive behavior and expressing your feelings, we can do another course. Of course, you can sign up for a free coaching call and we can coach you through some of those things. So anyway, those are 4 real common emotions that you might encounter. Here are um, 5 more: joy, excitement, anxiety, love, and boredom. Those are 5 more emotions, and I've kind of left that blank sheet. I'm not going to cover those, but you can get on Google and look those up and fill in that sheet if you wish to. It's just important to know that there's no wrong emotion. There's no bad emotion. And that's the first question on this sheet. Are there bad emotions? No. It's how you express yourself emotionally that counts. Okay. Um, what what emotions do you have difficult to deal with? The most difficult one that I have often is sadness. I tend to get down sometimes and I have to work on that. Um, anger, I get like frustrated and impatient. I need to work on that. Um, we sometimes we hide our emotions from ourselves and others, and sometimes it's just good to maybe take a minute and be alone and sit and breathe. We'll talk about breathing in a minute, but try and identify, now, how am I feeling? What happened? What brought me to this point? And understanding your emotions and understanding what caused them is a big key to regulating them. And then at the bottom, discussing how you feel and having somebody that you can talk to. It's just impossible to get anywhere on your own. You got to have somebody there to help you. You got to have a mentor, a coach, or a significant other, a best friend, somebody that you can confide in and talk to and bounce ideas off of. Here's some strategies for dealing with emotions. Mindfulness, I don't know if you know what that is, but that is being aware of what's going on around you. I often say find 5 things you can hear, 4 things you can see, 3 things you can smell. Okay. 1 thing you can taste, and you focus on your senses and you focus on that and just kind of be mindful of being in the present and not being pulled other directions. That will help you. Journaling, a lot of people journal. It's one assignment I give to my coaching clients. That's a really good assignment, and just writing stuff down. And a lot of times you'll write stuff down and then go back and look at it the next day and go, oh, I really felt that way. That's really true. And it'll give you an insight on into how you're feeling. Breathing exercises, we are going to go over those. Containing your emotions, meaning it's okay to be angry, but exploding, swearing, throwing things, these are violent, hostile ways to express anger. You need to learn to control that and contain it. And accepting your emotions, accept that you're angry, accept that you're happy, accept that you're sad. Accept how you are feeling and be aware of it and know that it will pass. It's just part of being human. Exercise creates something called endorphins that are released into your brain. They're chemicals that are very potent, that are released in your brain and help you actually give you kind of a high. And so exercise and adrenaline and those things can help change emotions and wipe out different emotions like fear and anger really quickly. Anger can be burned off through exercise. So exercise is a good way to go if you have time, um, in the moment, to go do something, take a break and go do something, shoot some hoops or go for a walk or whatever. Exercise is great. Meditation, that's just sitting, taking some breaths and being mindful, maybe closing your eyes, being somewhere where you can be alone and private and just clear your mind of nothing. Focus. Have you ever done that? Have you ever closed your eyes and just thought about nothing? It's virtually impossible, but with meditation you can get better at it and clear your mind. Just clear your mind of all the stuff that is going on. Sleep. Sleep is a big one. People who don't sleep are tendably have a lot more emotions and more intense emotions, especially the negative emotions. So getting enough sleep is really critical. And then exploring how you feel. And I've kind of talked about that through journaling, through sitting down, through meditation, through mindfulness. Go back and look at the ways that you acted. Look at the history of your emotion that you're feeling, what happened leading up to it, and try and understand the emotions and why you feel the way you feel. I'm going to go over 2 powerful breathing exercises. The first is a basic exercise they use in athletics. I've been a sports psychologist. I've worked with hundreds of athletes. Literally, I used to be a real coach in the real world, and I've worked with a lot of athletes. And a good one is it's just the 4-4-4 technique. You breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in through your nose again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you continue on doing this. You might do it for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, 2 minutes. But what it does is it centers you. There's an optimal rate of adrenaline and arousal and excitement for athletic performance. And to do that, you got to keep it in the zone. And if you're not in the zone, if your excitement and your arousal is too high, you won't perform. And using this simple exercise helps you get back in the zone of where you need to be. So that's an easy one. It's a great tactic. Finger breathing is a tactic that I've developed through counseling and coaching others. It's just really awesome. You use the 4-second technique, but you also take your fingers and you grab your thumb here, and then you do the 4-4-4-4. But when you breathe out, you tense all the muscles in your chest and in your body, tense everything. And then when you breathe out, you relax. Then you do the next finger. Tense, tense, tense everything up. And as you breathe out, relax. And then the next finger. Tense up everything. Breathe in, breathe out, relax. And then the ring finger. Tense, breathe in, tense everything, and relax. And then the pinky finger. Breathe in and relax. As you go through those 5 fingers, you're going to find yourself becoming calmer and more regulated. The tensing and the releasing of the muscles is sending signals to the brain to relax, and the breathing is helping you get back in that zone. And so finger breathing is a great way to go. Okay, biological basis for emotion. Let's talk about the biological things. A lot of it has to do, some emotions like depression and anxiety have to do with chemical imbalances in the brain. A lot of people have this, and it can be controlled through a lot of different ways. Medication is one of them. I don't know if you've considered using medication before. It depends on how strong your depression or your anxiety is, but it's something to think about and explore and talk to your doctor or psychiatrist or counselor about. Something to consider. I used to work with teenage boys who were in big trouble and had a lot of anxiety and depression, and I know that when they were on their medication, it made a huge difference for them in their anger and in controlling their emotions. It made a huge difference. Um, so anyway, the chemical releases in the brain. A lot of times there's a chemical called serotonin in the brain that depression, anxiety, there's a shortage of, and these medications help increase the serotonin in the brain. Okay. Psychological basis for emotion. There's conscious mental reactions. Our mind is like an iceberg, and the tip of the iceberg we see, but 2/3 of the iceberg is underneath the water. That's where our preconscious and subconscious is. And a lot of times our mind is processing things that are going on as we feel these emotions and sends thoughts back up to us. Depending on what we're saying to ourselves, and we send in those thoughts down into the subconscious, depends on what kind of thoughts will come back up through the subconscious into the conscious. That's called emotional processing. And it's the interrelated process of somatic and mental experimentation of the emotions and the verbal and behavior expressions that you're feeling and saying. And the cognitive means thinking, reflection on your goals, meaning, and the implication of what you're feeling. I know that's a mouthful. Um, Basically, putting it simply, it's your mind. You got the chemical imbalances going on in your mind, in your brain, and then you got the thoughts that are going on in your mind. You've heard of closed mindset, an open mindset, a growth mindset. Those thoughts are creating those emotions also. There's something called cognitive behavior therapy, and the belief behind cognitive behavior therapy is that thoughts create emotions. And you think about it, that's probably pretty true. Thoughts create your emotions. So put simply, there, I like that. Thoughts create your emotions. And by changing your thoughts, you can change your emotions. That's a pretty simple formula. Okay. Benefits of emotional regulation, improve mental health. People will like you better. You'll have better decision-making skills, better relationships, and greater overall well-being. So there are some benefits to being an emotional regulated person. You may have a reputation at work or in your family or something of being, um, I don't know, lack of a better word, psycho or crazy, that you fly off the handle, you get on people, you're easily angered. Think about those kind of reputations you have. Do you want to have that kind of a reputation? Maybe you do. Most people don't. Most people want people to like them. And if you want people to like you, you're going to have to learn to regulate your emotions. It's not something you do overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. The breathing exercises I taught you takes practice. Journaling, being more aware of what's going on, takes a lot of time and effort and practice. But with time, effort, and practice, you will learn and can learn to regulate your emotions. Okay, facial expressions. Let's just talk about that a minute. Different cultures read different meanings into facial expressions, but um, in our culture, in your culture, whatever culture you are, what are those facial expressions and what are the emotions that are going with them? Typically, the universal facial expression for sadness is a frown. Um, Learning how to read other people and read their facial expression, sorry, is key and very critical so that you are in a conflict with somebody or you're talking to somebody. Um, you'll know how they feel and you can reflect that feeling back to them. Um, so facial expressions is a big thing. And like I said, it varies from culture to culture. How do you respond to emotions that are strong, such as anger? And how are you responding? I'm coming back to what body signs are you putting forth when you're having a certain emotion? You know, you're clenching your fist, you're clenching your teeth, you're tightening your leg muscles. What body reactions? There you can go back to the breathing. If you're tensing your thigh, example, that's something I do when I get stressed. I don't look now, but look in my mind and I realize that I'm tightening my left thigh. And you can go back to the breathing exercises and work on relaxing those tense areas. Okay. All right. A study in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology found that while watching negative and positive emotion films and suppressing those emotions, people had physical effects that actually affected them by suppressing and holding the emotions in. There were actual physical effects, elevated heart rate, and things like that. And a lot of people, we call it stuff your emotions. A lot of people will stuff their emotions, and there are physical consequences to stuffing your emotions. Um, Emotions affect our whole demeanor and our whole health, and they affect our ability to understand and interact with others. Okay, how good are you at reading somebody else's emotional state? Think about that, because if they are feeling something and you're not reading it right, you could say something that could offend them, that could hurt them. So becoming adept to reading how others feel is also an important part of this journey. Okay, we've kind of been alluding to the fact that emotional wellness is tied to your physical health. Um, a lot of times these negative thoughts and feelings get into our body and affect our physical health. Here's a chart, or not a chart, but kind of a laid out spreadsheet type of sheet of different things like negative emotions can cause stress, hormone imbalances, depleted brain chemicals, damage immune system. People who are more positive tend to live longer, get sick less often, have fewer physical symptoms of pain, have lower blood pressure, have a reduced risk of heart disease, have a healthier weight. Physical symptoms of emotional stress, chest pain, shoulder, neck, or back pain, headaches, grinding teeth or clenching jaw, shortness of breath, dizziness, feeling tired or anxious or depressed. Some ways to improve and maintain good emotional health include exercise. That's like number one. When I start coaching somebody, I really encouraging them to get on an exercise program. Improve the nutritional program intake, what you're taking in, chemicals in your body such as caffeine really affect your emotional state. You may not think it, but think about how it is if you don't have the caffeine. For you coffee drinkers and caffeine addicts out there. I'm one of them. But when you go without caffeine, how does that feel? What are your reactions then? And then generating positive emotions. So there's just a nice paper you can print that out and realize that your emotions affect your physical health. That's the end of our course. Um, I know that was kind of a real drinking out a fire hose kind of thing, and I gave you a lot of information in just a few minutes. But if you need more help, email me at pathfinder4lifecoaching@gmail.com, and we could set up a free session where you could talk to me about what's going on in your life, and I could outline a plan, and we could talk. This session is free. So email me, get on my website, pathfinderlifecoaching.com, and schedule a free consultation appointment. I'd love to work with you. The other thing is, I appreciate you taking this free course. I would like some feedback on it. I want to make it better. I want to make it sharper and more relevant. So if you could email me back after you've taken this course and filled out different portions of the worksheets and that, and you could give me some feedback, that would pay me back for the course. I think the course has great value. Of course, it's free, so it has great value, but I think there's a lot of things in this course that are very relevant and can help you regulate your emotions better. Again, thank you very much and have a great day.